It's a very inspiring Wednesday. It's December 6th, 2023. And I'm going to read what I just wrote. First, I'm going to tell a little anecdote, kind of off the cuff. I was at the library down on Federal Street, maybe Monday. At the table nearest where I was sitting, plodding along on my little computer, netbook or whatever, no, Chromebook is what I'm using. And I was using the internet, quietly typing away like a mouse. There's, first two and then ultimately three very muscular, very disturbing people at a table, audibly close. They were all talking away. These are some menacing people. I could only see the face by looking up of a very frightening guy. He was very powerfully built, obnoxious. I couldn't really remember what he was talking about. It was nothing. I don't recall him saying anything in any way memorable. He smiled in a disturbing smile. He looked disturbingly happy for a vagrant. And the other individual at the table at that time first was short, very muscular, very unusual muscular build. These were the kind of people who survive living outdoors in freezing cold. Now, a third gentleman came along. This guy had a heavy Jamaican accent, was a very large African man. Heavy Jamaican or Rasta accent. Sounded ebullient. He kept talking. He kept repeating. They get beer, they get vodka, they'll get orange juice and make screwdrivers. He was trying to entice these two other men into a party, and they seemed to like the idea, but they didn't jump at it. I didn't get exactly how they were going to finance this party the Jamaican was planning. Who knows? But he kept, the man with the Jamaican accent kept saying, we get drunk and then we go to sleep. He's just the part about going to sleep. He said it many times, like it was the most wonderful thing that could happen was they could go to sleep. After a while, I sort of realized this was some very strange sounding stuff, and I could hear them very plainly. They were, less than 8 feet, less than 6 feet, really, from me, talking, to each other. And the part about going to sleep, I think I figured deduced that they were either, of course, vagrants, because they might be sleeping outside in the freezing cold. Maybe the best hope they had, and these were very powerfully built individuals, was to drink themselves unconscious. The only chance of sleeping well would be unconscious from alcohol, and they're all observably physically strong enough to survive freezing cold and such. They might have a demonstrably low regard for their own lives and the lives of others. Low regard for one's own life. Things I learned the hard way. That one. I think it's reversed. We'll be talking about inversions in a moment. I think I've had that inversion. It was brought to my attention. If I speak disparagingly of myself, people could get the impression I have low regard for the life of others. And I've made changes about that. This time, they weren't saying disparaging things about themselves. Their situation was exceedingly frightening, disparaging, disturbing. I think these people probably don't live long. They could mug people. They may be too criminal to have normal housing. They may be too alcoholic or psychiatric to have normal housing. They may be, I think, most likely, along with everything else, they may be the worst type of alcoholic, the type that can do is that, drink a fifth a day or more. People just continue to go till they die. Tisk tisk. Okay. But this was at the public library. It was a little distracting. It was disturbing. It was frightening, depressing. It was very, very cold out. Very cold. It was among the first days. It wasn't the first day that snows, but it was among the first days with a bitter, wet, sleet. It was everything. The week earlier in the week to this week, there was the aggregate of cold rain, sleet, hail, and snow. Quite unpleasant. Anyhow, and it's not too fucking nice now. Okay, here is my tone poem. We talked about people who pronounce the word Saturday, Saturday. Monday to them is Monday. These people have sway in a few of many hollows. Their argot sings silently. These people have wee brains. Unregulated by government agency. Safe by virtue of their environs being too gross for normal people to live in. I've lived well by this sad little inversion, too. Certain people more or less thrive on diets of minge and scunge. I've lived decades under rotting fallen timbers. I do yoga with the centipedes and pillbugs. Don't accuse me of passing harsh judgment on certain people. It's like that awful old joke about the pervert who can't stand having to share a stall with a communist. It can be kind of ugly out there. We need to be pleasant to one another no matter what's going on. Thanks for listening.